Is it too late to be starting on YouTube in 2021? Allow me to offer a few humble thoughts. Greetings, this is Idre speaking, and you're watching The Art of Being. Thank you for stopping by. Now, many times when we see videos like this that are attempting to inspire YouTubers, it is often by YouTubers who have already cemented themselves in the YouTube space. I, as you can tell, am a new YouTuber. I am simply at the beginning of my journey, and I thought it would be interesting to begin my journey with somewhat of a reflection on my consumption versus creation. For more than a decade, I've been a consistent consumer of content on YouTube. I have, of course, watched a lot of content about content creation. I've watched a lot of content about video production, photography, cameras, lighting, sound equipment, you name it. Now, over this time of my consumption, I've always had a burning desire to be not just a consumer, but actually a creator of content. For the number of reasons that I'm going to qualify as excuses and fears, I have hindered myself from taking the leap from consumer to creator of content. Now, it's 2021 and I'm no longer willing and able to allow myself to make excuses and be hindered by my fears. You might be in a similar situation, and I'm hoping that this video might allow you to develop that last bit of confidence that will push you towards being a creator, and a consistent creator at that. Over this decade of consuming content on YouTube, I've watched countless YouTubers and countless channels grow through consistency and determination, through that hard-headedness of not being willing to quit, which is very important on this platform. Recently, I watched a video from one of my favorite YouTubers who is called Caleb Pipe, well that's his name, and his channel is called DSLR Video Shooter. I've been watching his content for quite a while. He's been an active and consistent YouTuber for 10 years. In fact, he recently made a video giving some advice about what he's learned in the 10 years that he has been consistently creating content. You should definitely check that out when you finished watching this video, if you are so inclined. Now, what I admire with Caleb and other people who have been consistently doing it is just that. They have been consistently doing it. This isn't a platform that you yield results overnight, and you really shouldn't be focused on the results. You should be focused on the process, the journey. Every video should be enjoyable to you. The creation of the video should be a process that you truly enjoy. If you don't do that, then you will never be able to consistently do it, and do it at a higher and increasingly better quality. Over the time that I've been consuming content and having this burning desire to move from a consumer to a creator, I've allowed myself to hinder myself through the use of various excuses and fears. You might also be in a similar position, and I'm hoping that this will show you that it is not too late for you to move from excuses and consumption to executing your desire to become a consistent creator. If you're anything like me, there are many excuses and many fears, but I think some of the primary ones are as follows. The number one excuse I think many content creators who are at the beginning of their journey, or even at the starting point but not quite initiating the start, it's equipment. We somehow convince ourselves that we don't have adequate equipment, we don't have the best equipment, etc. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what your equipment is. What matters most is that you consistently create content that you can be proud of and that you yourself would actually spend your time watching. If it isn't something that you are watching, how can you expect others to consistently consume the content you are creating? It doesn't make sense, does it? Some of the fears I think we've all had as creators are as follows. We fear that we might not be accepted. We fear that our content or our creation abilities might not be good enough or at the level that is now expected from YouTubers. But I think the number one fear that we all have is fear of criticism and fear of failure. Now, there's nothing wrong with thinking that maybe you need to just get this or that, But is it really the acquisition of a particular item that is going to help you to create better content? Or is it really creating content consistently that will help you to increase the quality of your productions? I am inclined to think the latter. Now, I'm quite old in comparison to many people who begin their YouTube journey, but I'm not allowing myself to hinder myself by thinking that now I'm too old. It's possible that you are a decade or more younger than I am, and I want to show you that if I can start at this very old and ripe age, you have no excuse. You don't have the luxury of making excuses anymore. 2020 has been a rough year for most of us, but I want you to think about this as a creator, especially if you're at the beginning of your journey as a creator. What you might have done in 2020 is you consumed a tremendous amount of content. We all spent more time on Netflix, we've all spent more time on YouTube, we've all spent more time on social media. And what it shows me is that this is a platform, this is an industry, if you want to say, that it isn't going to die anytime soon. So there is still space and time for you to begin your journey if you just allow yourself to brush the excuses and sweep away the fears. What are some of the fears and excuses that you have made or allowed to hinder you? Do you really have the luxury to not start creating content right now? 2021, in my opinion, is not too late to be starting on YouTube. The only thing that you have to know is that the best time to start anything you want to do, be it YouTube, some other creative, culinary, athletic, whatever the endeavor that you have a burning desire for, it is never too late. This is Ardre, and you've been watching The Art of Being. Thank you for joining us.